We are. um, Yo, what's up? I'm watching the president's debate very quietly. Try not to interrupt. She was watching this shit. She was doing this motherfucking shit. And no better than the house.
What you say we are in a V-shaped recovery? Vice President Biden may say it's more of a K-shape. What difference does that mean to the American people in terms of the economy? Whether it's something you go for. It was the greatest economy in history. We closed it down because of the China plague. When the plague came in, we closed it down, which was very hard psychologically to do. He didn't think we should close it down, and he was wrong. And again, 2 million people would be dead now. Still, 200,000 people is too much. One person is too much. Should have never happened from China. But what happened is we closed it down, and now we're reopening. And we're doing record business. We have 10.4 million people in a 4-month period. We put back into the workforce. That's a record, the likes of which nobody's ever seen before. And he wants to close down. He will shut it down again. He will destroy this country. A lot of people between drugs and alcohol, depression. When you start shutting it down, particularly what's happening in some of the Democrat-run states where they have these tough shutdowns. And I'm telling you this because they don't want to open it. One of them came out last week, you saw that. But when they open up another night, one other night, because of the election, they think they're hurting us by keeping it closed. They're hurting people. People know what to do. They can social distance, they can wash their hands, they can wear masks, they can do whatever they want. But they can also understand that when you look at North Carolina, when you look at these governors are overseas, Pennsylvania, Michigan, and a couple of others, you get into the state that it's not fair. It's only almost like being in prison. And you look at what's going on with divorce, look at what's going on with alcoholism and drugs. It's a very, very sad thing. And they'll close down the whole country. That will close down the whole country and destroy our country. Our country is coming back incredibly well, setting records as it does it. We don't need somebody to come in and say, let's shut it down. For the third or download for you. As I said, most of the question, the president says it's a V-shaped recovery and say it's a K-shaped recovery. What's the difference? The difference is 30 days and 20 years like here, no COVID crisis. Done very well. Another certain millionaires is rated at to make another $300 billion because of this disruptive taxes that or they will not focus on the market. If you folks at home, you folks living in streets and Claremont and all the small towns and working class towns in America, holy, this guy paid what a total of $750 for a bag of 70 bears. Right now, I understand you have a brace of the still at $35 but you're my contact. The fact is that he is, in fact, worked on this in a way that he could be the first president of the United States. We've also, I mean, fewer jobs in administration, that money became president. Fewer jobs, that money became the first one to greater second. The people who have lost their jobs are those people who have been on the front line, those people who have been saving our lives, those people who have been out there dying, people who are putting themselves in a way to make sure that we could all try to make it. And the idea that he is that we go forward and open when we have almost half the states in America with a significant increase in COVID deaths and COVID cases in the United States of America. And he wants to open it up more. Why do you want to open it up? Why doesn't he take care of it? He can't fix the economy until he fixes the COVID crisis. And he has no intention to do anything about making it better for you all at home in terms of your health and your safety. School, why are school open? Because it costs a lot of money to open the state. You know, if they were going to give this administration, teachers and sports students math, then we decided, no, undo that because it's not a national emergency. Not a national emergency. They've done nothing to help small businesses. Nothing. They're closed. 1 in 6 is now gone. You got to get on the job and take care of the needs of the American people so we can't open the door. Your time is up, sir. So you're going to get this. I want to respond for that. What all kinds of benefits. So the people want their schools. People want their schools open. They don't want to be shut down. They don't want their state shut down. They want their restaurant. I look at New York. It's so sad what's happening in New York. It's almost like a ghost town. And I'm not sure if they've ever recovered. But they've never recovered. People want their places open. They want to get back to their life roles. They don't really care for it, but they want their schools to have a lot. I'm the one that brought back football. By the way, I brought back 10 football. It was me, and I'm very happy to do it. And our people in Ohio are very proud of it. And, you know, what the government has for your economic plans going forward in a moment. The first is the president. If you run out of the new report that in 2016, the year you were elected president, in 2017, your first year as president, that you paid $750 a year in federal income tax each of those years. I know that you pay a lot of other taxes, but I'm asking you the specific question. In the school, you pay $750 in federal income taxes each of those 2 years. I paid millions of dollars in taxes, millions of dollars in income tax. And let me just tell you, it was started one of the things. I paid $38 million 1 year. I paid $47 million tax year. I went by Mercedes and Mercedes. You know, I want to do. Go to the Board of Elections. There's 118 pages of reports. Everything they have, are totally under-leveraged. The assets are extremely good. And they have a very clear, I don't know, I'm not going to go through the project. So let me tell you, I understand all that. I understand all that. I'm asking you a question. Will you tell us how much you paid in federal income taxes in 2016 and 2017? Millions of dollars. Okay, millions of dollars. So not millions of dollars, and you get this idea. And you get this idea. But let me go on. Let me just say something. It was the tax laws. I don't want to pay tax. Before I came here, I was a private developer. I was a private business people. Like every other private person on this citizen, they go through the laws, and that's what it is. You pass the tax bill. It gave us all these privileges for depreciation and for tax credits. We built the building and we get tax credits like the hotel or Pennsylvania Avenue. Which, by the way, was given to me by the Obama administration, if you can believe that. The man got fired. I got fired after that happened. I was trying to not want to respond. I didn't want to respond. Look, tax code made you in a position to be paid what's back school teacher. Money to school teacher. It's because of it's smart you can take advantage of the tax code. It does take advantage. That's why I'm going to eliminate the Trump tax code. We're going to eliminate those and make sure that we invest in the people who in fact need help. People out there need help. So why do you do it? I want to know that. I want to play up here. Because why don't you do it? Because you don't have a residence where things up. You were a senator, and the words were like one of America's ever. Let me just say it, Joe. I said more in 47 months. I said more than we've done in 47 years here. We've done things that you never even thought of. Including fixing the broken military that you gave me. I mean, I'm taking care of it. Y'all had Mr. President, we're talking about the economy. I'd like to ask you about your plans going forward. Because my president, your economic plan, if you were to be elected president, focuses a lot on big government, big taxes, big spending. I want to focus first on the taxes. You propose more than $4 billion over a decade in new taxes on individuals making more than $400,000 a year and on corporations. President Trump says that that kind of an increase in taxes is going to put the economy coming out of the world. Well, just take a look at what the analysis not by Wall Street Journal points out that my economic plan creates 7 million more jobs in the country, number one. And number two, it would create an additional $1 trillion in economic growth. This would be about buying America. But we're going to make this federal government here on everything from ships, to steel, to buildings, and all that. And on my proposal, we're going to make sure that every penny of that has to be paid by kind of like I was talking about taxes, not spent and fall off. By the way, I'm literally I know the corporate tax 28%, should be 21%. We have 91 companies, federal lobby in the Fortune 500. We don't have single penny tax making billions of dollars. More than that, because Obama, because you in fact had that. That was why you were actually get it done. And you know, everything else now the salary before you will continue your free market approach, lower taxes, more things like your life. That's not what attracts American people. That's not what here's that. But in Obama's, it turns out that in Obama's final 3 years as president, more jobs were created, 1.5 million more jobs than in the first 3 years of your president. They had the slowest recovery since economic recovery since 1929. It was the slowest recovery. Also, they took over something that was down here. All you got to do is turn on the lights and you pick up a light. But there's the slowest economic recovery since 1929. Everything about the stock market. When the stock market goes up, it also means 401k. If you got it, if you're thinking aggressively, your ideas, you want to terminate my taxes, I'll tell you what, you lose half of the companies that are poured in here will leave. And what have companies that are already, they'll leave the better prices. They will leave, and you will have enough prices that are like how rich you've never seen. Look, the who inherited the worst recession, short of depression in American history, I was asked to bring it back. We were able to have an economic recovery and create the jobs you're talking about. We had to become a voting economy. Keep forward. There wasn't any voting. Everyone was voting, and both of them did the week. People are the third thing. Everybody said, like, here, it's a fair thing. People went when. And when I go to when there was black unemployment, there was what helped. Yeah, but because what he did, he needed to accomplish manufacturing went to whole. Manufacturing went to whole. It's number one. It's number two. It's number three. They said that it was added. I don't remember this. No. Chris. They said if we had a miracle to bring back manufacturing, I brought back 700,000 jobs. They brought back nothing. They gave up on manufacturing. They didn't get there. I'm the guy who brought back. We brought back. I was at bring back Chrysler, brought back right in the state of Ohio and Michigan. We pulled it. They're gone. We pulled it. And the fact that Ohio had the best year it's ever had last year. Michigan had the best year they've ever had this time. Any of our companies, I went from Germany, from China, I went to Michigan and got to Ohio. And they didn't know where I am. So the people look at what he's actually done. He's done very little. Trade deals are the same way. He talks about these great trade deals. He talks about the art of the deal. China's trying to perfect the art of the deal. We have a higher deficit in China now than we did before. We have the highest deficit trade deficit in China and €8 left. They don't understand. China €8 left still. And the one that your son goes in and he takes out billions of dollars. He takes out billions of dollars to manage. He makes billions of dollars. And also, while we're at it, why is it just out of curiosity? The winner of Moscow's wife is done $3.5 million. What did he do to deserve it? What did he do for the time? By the way, he did $3.5 million. This is not true. Really? It's with no experience in energy, there's nothing wrong. He doesn't want to be able to be told that as the truth. It's totally, thoroughly destroyed. By everyone. Well, by media, by airlines, by everyone. That's the script. Matter of fact, even the people who testify under oath. So let me know. People get 3 days. So why did he do their grid after they pull out? Yeah, look, here's the deal. I want to talk about families and their things. I don't want to do that. I mean, his family can talk about all the way. It's family, my family, who owns a fortune, they're coming down and helping out with their family. This is not about my family or his family, it's about your family. Eddie America, that's not true. It doesn't want to talk about what you need. You, the American people, it's about you. That's what we're talking about. All right, now we have the end of the moving lives. No, they're the end. It's very important. No, I like to have. No, I don't have anything in for everybody. No, he's putting out. Sir, the billion dollars, yeah, you have to know what you're waiting. Not true. You're going to have it's true. Gentlemen, if my wife, my wife said I could give it to you. So here's the point. We have 6 segments. At the end of that segment, we're going to go to the next segment. In that segment, you each are going to have 2 unelected owners. In those 2 unelected owners, the president can say anything you want. I'm going to ask the question about race, so if you want to answer about something else, go ahead. But we can convince that the country will be better served if we allow those people to speak with fewer interruptions. I'm not telling you to well, I think you can move more interruptions. I need this point. Well, like, they're elected at good. Now, let's say you're right. Let's please continue on. The issue of race. Vice President Biden, you say that President Trump's response to the violence in Charlottesville 3 years ago, when he talked about very fine people on both sides, was what directly led you to launch this one for president. President Trump, you have often said that you believe you have done more for Black Americans than any president, with the possible exception of Abraham Lincoln. My question for the 2 of you is why did voters trust you rather than your opponent to deal with the race issues facing this country over the next 4 years? Vice President Biden, you go first.
It's about equity, equality, it's about decency, it's about the Constitution. And you never walk away from trying to collect and require equity for everyone, equality for all Americans. But we've never accomplished it. We've never walked away from the fear. It is true. The reason I got the race is most people close your eyes. You look at those people look like coming out and forth carrying torches. They're being involved in union and just doing mad, like vile, and accompanied by a plan. The only sexual. And they asked the president, he said, we're very fine people on both sides. No president ever said anything like that. And it lives now. Second point, I think, is that when Floyd was killed, there was a peaceful protest in front of the White House. What did he do? He came out of his bunker, had the military use tear gas on us. We could walk across to a church and hold up the Bible. And then what happened after that? The bishop of that great church said that it was a disgrace. The general who was with him said, all he ever wants to do is surprise people, not people wrong. This is the president that used everything as a dog whistle to try to generate racist hatred, racist division. This is the man, in fact, we talk about helping African Americans. 1 in 1,000 African Americans have been killed because of the coronavirus. And if he doesn't do something quickly, by the end of the year, 1 in 500 will have been killed. 1 in 500 African Americans. This man is the savior of African Americans. This man shares it all. This man's done virtually nothing. Look, the fact is that you have to look at what he's supposed to. You have to look at what he did. And what he did is a disastrous to the African Americans. So, I better talk to a man. Why should Americans trust you over your opponent to give the race that you're trying to do? 1994, when you drove them super predators, African American super predators, and they've never forgotten it. They've never forgotten it, Joe. It's not like they're instruments. And you did that, and they called you super predator, and I'm letting people out of jail now that you have treated the African American population community, you have treated the Black community about as bad as anybody in this country. You did the 1990s, and that's why, if you look at the polls, I do it better than any Republican's done in a long time. just got the support of 250 military leaders and generals. Total support. Law enforcement, almost every law enforcement group in the United States. I have Florida, I have Texas, I have Ohio, I have, Portland. The sheriff just came out today and he said, I support President Trump. I don't think you any law enforcement. You can't even say the word law enforcement because if you say those words, you're going to lose all of your radical left supporters. And why aren't you saying those words, Joe? Why don't you say the word law enforcement? Because you know what? If they called us in Portland, we would put out that fire in a half an hour, but they won't do it because they're run by radical left Democrats. If you look at Chicago, if you look at any place you want to look, Seattle, they heard we were coming in the following day and they put up their hands and we got back Seattle. Minneapolis, we got it back, Joe, because we believe in law and order. But you know, the top 10 cities are just about the top 40 cities are run by Democrats and in many cases radical left. And they got you wrapped around their finger to a point where you don't want to say anything about law and order. And I'll tell you what, the people of this country want and demand law and order, and you're afraid to say it. I want to return to the question of race. Vice President Biden, after the grand jury in the Brianna Taylor case, decided not to charge any of the police with homicide. You said it raises the question for whether justice could be equally applied in America. Do you believe that there is a separate but unequal system of justice for blacks in this country? That's the system of injustice in this country. Education,
They're being white. She's a big one.
the way in which it's been important. The vast majority of these folks really teach them honors and men and women. They risk their lives every day to take care of them. But there are some bad apples. When they find them, they have to be sorted out. They have to be held accountable. They have to be held accountable. And what I'm going to do as President of the United States is call together an entire group of people at the White House. Well, everything from the civil rights group, the police chief, and we're going to work this out. We're going to work this out so we change the way in which we have transparency and when these things happen. These cops aren't happy to see what happened to George Floyd. These cops aren't happy to see what happened to County Joe. Those don't like it. But we have to have a system where people are held accountable. And by the way, violence and response is never appropriate. Never appropriate. Peaceful protest is. Violence is never appropriate. The other is talking about this, where they run through the road and burn down their door and kill people in their bodies. That is not peaceful. But I know I'm not having any say this. I'd like to continue to go right now. We're going to get to the issue of law and order within a moment. It's not. Your administration directed federal agencies to end racial sensitivity training that expresses white privilege or critical race theory. Why did you decide to do that, to end racial sensitivity training, and do you believe that there was systemic racism in this system? Whether it's because it's racist, I think it's because a lot of people were complaining that they were asked to do things that were absolutely insane, that it was a radical revolution that was taking place in our military, in our schools, all the way, and you know it, and you know it, and he was racial sensitivity. If you were a certain person, you had no status in life, there was sort of a reversal. And if you look at the people, we would pay people hundreds of thousands of dollars to teach very bad ideas, and frankly, very sick ideas. And really, they were teaching people to hate our country. And I'm not going to do that. I'm not going to allow that to happen. We have to go back to the core values of this country. They were teaching people that our country is a horrible place, it's a racist place, and they were teaching people to hate our country. And I'm not going to allow that to happen. Like my nobody's doing that. He said, racist. I know a lot more about it. Let him go. That's it, that there is racial injustice. People have to be made aware of what other people feel like, what is meaning. It's important to know they don't want it. Many people don't want to hurt other people's feelings, but it's unique to be different. It's a gigantic difference between a child and able to grow up and have a self. It's a little bit like how this guy and his friend look down on so many people. Look down the nose on people aspects like growth and strength. They look down on people who don't have money. They look down on people who are of a different faith. They look down on people who are a different outlook. Right? We're all Americans. The only way we're going to bring this country together is bring everybody together. There's nothing we cannot do if we do it together. We can put this on and we can defeat great life president. During the Obama Biden administration, there was tremendous division. There was hatred. You look at Ferguson, you look at, and you go to very many places. You look at Baltimore. Look what happened in Oakland. Look what happened in Baltimore. Look what happened in Frankly, it was more violent than we're even seeing now. The reason is that the Democrats that run these cities themselves want to talk like you about law and order. Violent trial, violent minority favor of law and order. I'm in favor of law and fine. You're in favor of law and order. Law and order with justice where people get treated fairly. And the fact of the matter is, violent crime is down 15% in our administration. All right, gone up on his watch. Yeah, much more. All right, we're down here. We're not going to talk about law and order. We have trouble with Democratic run cities. Not only my weather, but we're not getting where you said homicides in America this summer particularly, and you often blame that on Democratic mayors and Democratic governors, and in fact, everything equivalent, right, in Republican-led cities like Tulsa and Fort Worth. So the question is this really a party issue? I think it's a party issue. You can bring in a couple of examples, but if you look at Chicago, what's going on in Chicago, where 53 people were shot and 8 died shot. If you look at New York, where it's going up like nobody's ever seen it, the numbers are going up 100, 150, 200%. Right. It's crazy what's going on. And he doesn't want to say law and order because you can't, because you'll lose his radical left supporters. And once he does that, it's over. But if he ever got to run this country and they ran it the way he would want to run it, we would have pretty much suburbs would be gone. By the way, my suburbs would be gone. And you would see problems like you never know that suburb unless you took a wrong turn or just separate. I was away suburbs. This is not 1950. All these multiple races don't work anymore. Suburbs are by and large integrated. There's many people today driving their kids to soccer practice and they're black and white and Hispanic in the same car as there have been any time in the past. What really is a threat to the suburbs and their safety is this failure to deal with COVID. They're dying in the suburbs. It's failure to deal with the environment. They're being flooded. They're being burned out because here's the fuel. That's why it's so frustrating. I do want to talk about this issue of law and order, though, and in the joint recommendation, it being from the Biden-Bernie Sanders task force, you talk about, quote, reimagining policing. First of all, what does reimagining policing mean, and do you support, let me finish the question, what does reimagining policing mean, and do you support the Black Lives Matter call for community control of police? So, what I support is we have the opportunity to deal with the problems they face. And I'm totally opposed to funding results. Matter of fact, we're supposed to, the only one I'm running is it budget calls for $400 million cut in local law enforcement system. They need more assistance. They need to show up for a 9/11 call. They have someone with a psychologist or psychiatrist from having to use force to be able to talk people down. We have to have community policing like we had before, where the officers get to know people in the community. That's when crime went down. It didn't go up, it went down. So we have to be able with it, bro. That's the funding. That is not true. He doesn't have any law. We have. Name one group that supports you. Name one group that came out and supported you. Go ahead. We have got. We don't have time. All right. Law enforcement group. I want to get to another subject, which is the issue of protests in many cities that have turned violent. In Portland, Oregon, especially, we have more than 100 straight days of protests. The fact that you ever talk about peaceful protests,
is that the latest is concerned. Never called a later in Portland and in Oregon to call a National Guard and not work 100 days of run. They can't affect, take care of it, keep this day out of the way. Oh, really? Oh, really? A young man in the middle of the street, they shot him. But 3 days, I've been across the board, like the I interrupt you, you from here. Go ahead, sir. By the way, there's no former spokesperson said, riots, chaos, and violence come as cause. That's just what I do. Killing it, calmly, she said, here's before we did that, that's what he was trying to violence you. You just want to calm things down. Instead of going in and talking to people and saying, let's get everybody together, figure out how to deal with it. What's he do? He just pours gasoline in the fire, constantly, every single dollar job. And let's talk about this. I'm going to give you the answer, sir. You have repeated what sort of honest answer. It's nothing. You have stated like no, fucking right. I'm asking you. I would not, if you want to push the team, we can very quickly do that. But I'm the National Guard would be open to be no problem. But they don't want to accept the National Guard. You have repeatedly clarified the vice president for not specifically calling out people and other left-wing extremist groups. But are you willing to not down white supremacists and militia groups and to say that they need to stand down and not add to the violence in a number of these cities that we saw in Kenosha and we've seen in Portland. We're prepared to do that. I would say almost everything I've seen is from the left way, not from the right. But what do you say? I'm not willing to do anything. I want to see what you do it, sir. Say it. You want to call it? What do you want to call it? Stand back and stand by, but I'll tell you what, somebody's got to do something about Antifa and the left, because this is not a right wrong, this is a left right, correct? This is a left wing battle, right supremacy. Antifa's an idea, not an organization, and an opulous, it's an FBI, it's FBI direct. Well, you know what? No, we're done, sir. Everyone's under the next one. Everybody clarification tells you the truth is about the bad idea. I think what I have no idea. Antifa is a danger. All right, we're done. We're going to the front of my record. You let a president, I'm going to have to the president change the second term is generally a referendum on his record. But Vice President Biden, you might as well one of your dad's things, which is don't compare me to the Almighty, compare me to the alternative. And in this case, sir, you are the alternative. And both of your records, that's what I'm asking you. Why should voters elect you president over your opponent in this second President Trump will go first in a minute? Because there would never be an administration or president who has done more than I have done. Despite the impeachment hoax, and you saw what happened today with Hillary Clinton, where it was a whole big con job. But despite doing all of these things, we had to fight both flanks and behind me and up and above. There has never been an administration that's done what I've done. The greatest before COVID came in, the greatest economy in history. We all looked at unemployment numbers. Everything was good. Everything was going. And by the way, there was history going to happen. People were calling for the first time in years. They were calling and they were saying it's time maybe. And then what happened? We got hit. And then we're building it back up again. But rebuilding of the military, including Space Force and all of the other things. They fixing up the D-Day, which was a mess under him. 308,000 people died because they didn't have proper health care. He was in on that. And we now got a 91% approval rating at the VAR vets. We take care of our vets. But we've rebuilt our military. The job that we've done, and I don't know, some people say maybe the most important. By the end of the first term, I'll have approximately 300 federal judges, Court of Appeals judges, 300, and hopefully 3 great Supreme Court judges, justices. That is a record, the likes of which very few people, and you know one of the reasons I have so many judges, because President Obama and him left me 128 leave office, you don't need any judges. That's like, you just don't do that. They left 128 openings, and if I were a member of his party, let's say I'm a little bit personalized, I'd say, if you left us 128 openings, you can't be a good president, you can't be a good vice president, but I want to thank you because it gives us almost, it'll probably be above that number by the end of this term, 300 judges to the record. Looking above your records, why did voters elect you president as opposed to President Trump? You have their minutes uninterrupted. This becomes weaker, sicker, poorer, more divided, more violent. When I was vice president, we inherited a recession. I was asked to fix it. I did. We had to work on the economy and the caused the recession. With regard to being weaker, the fact is that I found head-to-head with him, made it clear that we were not taking him as well. This is not